Have you ever sworn, tomorrow I'm waking up at 5 a.m., then the alarm rings, your finger hits snooze, and you wake up hours later with that familiar guilt in your stomach? You've heard the advice. You've tried it. And somehow you always slide back. But what if the first hour of your day isn't just extra time, but a lever powerful enough to move your whole life? Tonight I want to tell you a story about a man who had almost nothing until 5 o'clock a.m. became the moment he stopped losing to himself. Stay to the end, because you might recognize your own life in his. In a busy coastal city where trucks rolled through the night and the streets smelled of salt and exhaust, there lived a 31-year-old man named Kareem. Kareem worked as a night cleaner in an office building. At 7:30 p.m., he signed in. All night he emptied bins, mopped floors, and wiped glass until it shined for people who would never learn his name. At 5:45 a.m., he clocked out and walked to the bus stop while the city was just starting to wake. He rented a basement room with a thin blanket, a kettle, and a light bulb that flickered when the power dipped. His shoes were repaired so many times the soles looked stitched together, but the real poverty wasn't the room. It was the feeling of being trapped inside a life that never moved forward. On his walk home, he passed windows glowing with breakfast. He saw children getting ready for school, men in clean shirts heading to jobs that looked stable and bright. Kareem would think, is this my future? Am I going to spend my life cleaning other people's success? Some mornings, when the sky was still purple, he would stand at the crosswalk and watch office workers sip coffee from paper cups, laughing like the day was already theirs. He would feel that sharp mix of envy and embarrassment, as if his uniform was shouting to the world, I'm the background character. He avoided calling old friends because he didn't want to answer the question, so what are you doing now? When his stomach growled, he told himself it was discipline, but it was mostly lack of money. He could calculate the exact price of everything: bread, rice, bus fare, phone data. Life had become math without hope, and every time he lay down in his basement room, he felt like he was sleeping through the only life he would ever get. He tried to change. He applied for better jobs. But every door demanded experience, certificates, connections. He had none. He searched for online courses. But after working all night, his body collapsed. Sleep wasn't comfort. It was escape. Once a week, his father called from their village in the hills. My son, his father would ask, are you building something in the city? Kareem always answered with a lie. Yes, Baba, I'm close. Then he'd stare at the ceiling and whisper, I'm close to nothing. He wasn't lazy. He was exhausted. And effort without direction is just a different kind of prison. Kareem's father was a proud man who had worked fields and small construction jobs his whole life. He never complained, but Kareem could hear tiredness behind his words, the kind of tiredness that comes from decades of carrying responsibility alone. Kareem remembered being a child and watching his father wake before dawn, not because it was trendy, but because the family needed food. Back then, Kareem believed adults had answers. Now he was an adult, and he felt like a boy pretending. That's why the weekly phone calls hurt. His father wasn't demanding money. He was asking for a sign that Kareem's suffering had a purpose. One rainy morning in late autumn, Kareem's phone vibrated as he was leaving work. It was his sister, crying, Kareem, come home. Baba collapsed. They took him to the clinic. Kareem's chest tightened. He got on the first bus toward the mountains, gripping the seat as if that could hold his fear.